Well, more politics now and our wildly popular segment, Wingnut of the Week. Each Friday, independent analyst John Avlon calls out someone on the right and the left who he says have taken political name-calling to the extreme.
John is a columnist for thedailybeast.com and the author of Independent Nation. He joins us now with this week's addition to his Ring of Dishonor.
Oh, yes. It's always a good time to add to the Ring of Dishonor. And this week we are taking a look at a couple of polarizing pundits on the right and the left.
This week was easy, wasn't it?
This week they were obligatory selections that really kind of went viral even before Wingnuts of the Week designation. On the left, we've got Bill Maher, smart comedian, said America was a stupid country this week, and then refused to apologize for it when clarified. Let's take a listen at what he said.
So people are already complaining that you're calling the United States a stupid country and giving you a chance to clarify.
I don't need to clarify. It is.
Well, tell me why you think the United States is a stupid country.
Because Sarah Palin could be president. I mean, please, do I need to expand on that anymore? Yeah, I do. This country just gets dumber and dumber by the day. And I don't think I have time on your show to list all the reasons.
Wow. Yeah. So, a couple things about that. Great example of how, when you end up being a polarizer, you end up confirming your own party's worst stereotypes. Here, he's embodying the stereotype of the media elite on the coasts who always is trying to divide rather than unite. And what he calls flyover country is what Sarah Palin calls real America. It's a great example of how these folks end up being their own worst enemies.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
Please.
No, please.
We're so polite here.
Who's the wingnut on the right?
Wingnut on the right is Glenn Beck. And this week you may have heard that the entertainer come political pundit said that President Obama was a racist, among other things. Let's take a look at this interchange.
This president, I think, has exposed himself as a guy over and over and over again who has a deep-seated hatred for white people or the white culture. I don't know what it is.
You can't say he doesn't like white people. David Axelrod's white. Rahm Emanuel's his chief of staff are white. I think 70% of the people that we see every day are white. Robert Gibbs is white.
I'm not saying that he doesn't like white people. I'm saying he has a problem. This guy is, I believe, a racist.
Yeah, so I'm not saying he doesn't like white people, he's just a racist. You could say a lot of things.
Kind of like that Boston cop.
Yeah, you could say a lot of things about President Obama, but I'm pretty sure you can't say he's a racist.
His mother's white.
Yeah, for 1,001 reasons, this one ain't flying, and no doubt, Glenn Beck's taking a lot of heat for it and refusing to back down.
So what about the fallout from this? And I want to quote Chuck Todd from NBC, who wrote, quote, "There was a time when outrageous rants like this would actually cost the ranters their jobs, but not anymore. If anything, it's now encouraged."
Well, it stirs the pot, and that's part of the problem here. Some of these wingnut comments are great for ratings, but they're bad for the country, and we're not making a distinction. Now, Fox News ended up really issuing an official sort of distance, a Heisman move through Executive VP Bill Shine. Let's take a look at what he said. Is that Glenn Beck expresses a personal opinion which represented his own views, not those of the Fox News channel. And as with all commentators in cable news, he's given the freedom to express his opinions. Now, his statements have also provoked a boycott from one group, which is calling on sponsors to be boycotted if they back his show, and they're 500,000 strong. So we'll see. I don't think this is over yet. This is
the really sad part, they have this beer summit and they want the country to get this teachable moment, but Glenn Beck isn't going to want to go through any teachable moment. He's going to believe what he believes, and nothing's going to change his mind.
Well, that's the problem with wingnuts and hyperpartisans, right? I mean, and part of the problem is that those comments give cover to folks who want to create a false moral equivalency over race. And that's really part of the problem here. I mean, it's so absurd to call this president a racist. But if it's good for ratings, some people give it a pass.
You got an honorary wingnut of the week as well?
We got an honorary
this week.
We're crowded this week. Honorary wingnut, Boston cop, Officer Justin Barrett, who in the wake of what will one day be known as Gatesgate, sent off an email to a mass email, including to reporters at the Boston Globe, in which he referred to Professor Gates repeatedly, 4 times actually, as a jungle monkey, saying, and here's one of the excerpts from this piece of literature. If I had been the officer he verbally assaulted like a banana-eating jungle monkey, I would have sprayed him in the face with OC, which is pepper spray. Now, Wow, a couple things wrong about that. And so last night he went on the contrition circuit. You know, this obviously wasn't going to fly, not the brightest moment of the man's life. Let's hear what he said on Larry King last night.
I am not a racist. I did not intend any racial bigotry, harm, or prejudice in my words. I sincerely apologize that these words have been received as such. I truly apologize to all involved, Larry.
See, it leaves you speechless. I know.
I just, you know, I'm not
That
sure.
doesn't happen very often.
How can you say you don't intend racial bigotry when you write that phrase 4 times in an email? And look, yesterday he was trying out the Some of My Best Friends Are Black defense, and his lawyer, I got to say, his lawyer, who tried to make this brilliant distinction, my client was not claiming that Professor Henry Louis Gates was a jungle monkey. He was simply comparing him to a jungle monkey.
He was
one of the worst lawyers of all time.
Acting like one.
Yes, I'm sorry. You know, that distinction without a difference, my friend.
Fine but ridiculous line there.
Yeah.
John Avlon, it's always great to see you, buddy.
Good to see you.
Have a good weekend.